$ROBB3D, nigga. Nayim.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Nayim. I am your host, and today, before we get started, thank you to R0BB3D for your financial contribution. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be catching up on everybody's comments later today, and unlike most of my critics, my weekend was spent with my wonderful girlfriend who surprised me with tickets to the symphony, and it was a very beautiful and magical experience. The orchestra was perfect, the dancers were perfect, which was the ballet and the theater that came together, and it was just beautiful, a very beautiful matrimony of all the musical elements. And what that has to do with what I'm talking about today is everybody needs a reality check, in the sense of your world's not the only world that exists, no matter how important you think you are, because you're never going to be as center of attention or center of the universe as you think you are. There's a whole different world out there that until you experience it, you really don't know what you're playing with. What am I talking about? Akademiks almost fell victim to the Virginia goons. Now, if you don't know what happened, Akademiks was on his stream and he was talking about how his ex-girlfriend's friends tried to run down on him and break into his house and rob him, or whatever he said happened. I know that his ex-girlfriend is from out here in Richmond. Now, her popularity in Richmond, that's up for debate, depending on who you ask. I ain't never really seen nobody make no big deal out of who she is, but we do know she's from Richmond. And if you're confused about who the girl is, do you remember when Akademiks was like in the ball or something, and it was two girls fighting over him, and he started screaming in the girl's face, I'm the prize, it's me, or whatever. That's the girl who he's talking about. They're not together no more. But after that situation happened, they did end up getting back together, or they stayed together, whatever happened with that. And he comes out with this declaration and this decree: you can't have your friends over here, you can't text anybody, you can't do any of this, no, no freedoms and no liberties, all that goofy stuff that people think works. We just gonna put this in there. Anybody with free will and anybody with a cell phone can't really be held captive. It's only a matter of time. You are getting your wake up call now because for some reason you think that you have some type of equivocation to the people in the songs that you listen to, the people that you may interview, the people that may kiss your ass, so you don't say they flopped, or you don't go on stream with a bottle of alcohol and run them through the mud. We'll get to that in a second. He's talked about on this stream how some people came up from, he kind of slipped up and said, I didn't watch the whole stream, but he slipped up and said Virginia, and I knew it had something to do with this girl. He said that the cops was looking for people with Virginia plates. Apparently the ex-girlfriend locked the door, and then the ex-girlfriend's friend came back with two niggas who tried to run in there and do whatever they was gonna do, whether it had been as an extreme case of murder him or just beat him up and rob him. Whatever the case was, obviously he reported it and he told it was an attempted home invasion or some type of home invasion. And the police came and they saw in the driveway a car with Virginia plates, and that's how they found these people. The funny thing about Akademiks being in this situation is anytime that a rapper or anybody gets into some type of domestic squabble, and not domestic like physical violence, but just a relationship type of squabble with somebody, he's the first person to say they soft, they a simp, they a punk, hard on thoughts, those kind of things. He's the first person to come out and say that, because we got to be honest about how Akademiks sees himself. He got into this game because he never got female attention. I often talk to Theo, and shout out to Theo Pacino. I often talk to Theo about how no matter what kind of woman you are, if you was born a woman, men, there's always going to be some type of like attraction level you'll have to men. Whether it be like, I'm attracted to him and as like in a sexual way, or I'm attracted to him as a friend, or I'm attracted to him because biologically we are all attracted to each other, you know. And when you dealing with a man who, there's supposed to be some type of natural progression when it comes to men, as far as women are supposed to be attracted to you in whatever way they're attracted to you. A lot of men don't get to experience attraction until they're way down the line, because those statistics are right about 20% of the men are having their way. 80% of the men are watching those men. And that's why those 80% is always mad at the Pookies and the Ray Rays, because Pookie and Ray Ray is having their way and they didn't have developmental issues when it comes to female attraction. See, Akademiks is one of those people, and he's just, it's his situation, but he's not the only person like this. Akademiks started DJing because women didn't like him. He didn't have women liking him in high school. He didn't come up with girls putting his name on the list of who's cute or who they would kiss. You know, simple stuff that we go through as children, right? So you, like the other 80%, which, or whatever, you tell yourself, I'm going to make myself attractive by being the most successful person in the room. The problem with I'm going to make myself being attractive by being the most successful in the room is a lot of times nobody cares. If you was lame when you was 16 and you lame at 26, nobody cares what's going on in your 30s. Because lame is lame. And if we don't like you then, we don't like you now. If it's perceived as corny, that's what it's going to be. The problem with the whole I'm going to be the richest, I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to put all these things on, is that's just a costume. That doesn't attest to your character, and it doesn't attest to what a person will have to see behind closed doors. You got yourself caught up with the fact that you actually believe that because you are successful, you are number one, or was number one at one point in time, that you could actually have your way out here when it comes to women. You've already admitted that you go for women who are perceived as lower on the totem pole because they're easy to catch and they're easy to get with. And that's where you already made your mistake, because you walked through the door and you walked into a situation where you thought you was going to play on somebody else's low self-esteem, so they would have no choice but to look at you as they end all be all. See, somebody like you will go get somebody from the projects. And this is a man who has, not that your degree matters or it doesn't, but this is a man who has a degree in, I think he has a degree in biomathematics. So what does a man with a brain that can compute biomathematics or whatever it is, because it's something like that, what would you be doing in the projects looking for a girl? Why are you in the projects or on the Instagram in the projects of Richmond, Virginia, looking for somebody? Because you're looking for somebody who's already coming through the door with a dependency, because you know that if it was just you having to stand there as yourself, nobody would take it serious. I've never seen no bitch come out and say, I want to fuck Akademiks. I've never seen nobody that wasn't playing games online say, hey, I'm proud to say I have fucked Akademiks. You put yourself in this space where you actually believe that, I'm going to say it like this. You've taken your manhood cues from rap songs. You've taken your manhood cues from the people you've interviewed, from the people that you like and the people that you favor. I don't know the men that was in your life growing up. That's actually very important, because if you looking at rappers and you looking at the people you interviewed and the people you have access to, you seem to think I have more money than them, therefore I have the same access as they do. That's actually not true. You having more money and trying to put yourself in the same situation as somebody like Drake or somebody like Future or somebody even as thrilled as Lil Uzi Vert, it's not going to work out for you, because nobody's looking at you And it's like, that's something I want to be a part of, unless it is a financial grab. This girl probably got her way in there because a woman is biologically wired for survival. I tell people all the time, a woman is not biologically wired to be loyal. She's loyal to her survival. So if you put a woman in a situation where she's exhausted, everything in survival is taken off the table, she's going to go. Point blank, period. You would wonder why you could be Akademiks and she would go fuck somebody that work at UPS. He don't have nowhere near anything you got. He might be taking the UPS truck to the house at the end of the night because he don't even have a car. And you wondering why somebody like her would set you up to be robbed, because make no mistake about it, this girl set you up. And you backtracking and backflipping and moonwalking back to, oh, I trust her because, hey, at least she locked the door. She told me she locked the door. Like, this is how I know. One, I know it was a setup, but this is how I know you don't know anything about women and you take your cues from rap songs. You get your manhood from your favorite artists, fantasy lyrics, and stuff like that. Is because why did her friends even think that it was okay to do something to you? None of my friends would ever think it would be okay to do something to my girlfriend. Not on your life. Unless you wanted to be your last day. Like, you are so blind because you have no women experience. You're underdeveloped in the bitch area. You actually believe because somebody did one thing that looked good to you, that puts them off the hook. So much so that they drove up, I think it's maybe like a 5-hour drive to where you might live at, assuming you live close enough to your house to where your office is at. It's not that far from Richmond to New Jersey. Richmond to Trenton is like 4 hours. So Richmond to Jersey City is probably 5 hours maybe. I don't even think it's that long. It's not that long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a 4 or 5 hour trip. They were so emboldened to come to your house because you get online and you huff and you puff and you blow all of this smoke and you do all of this shit and you pillow talking with bitches, and a bitch think that you being rich or famous actually means something. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. It doesn't mean anything. She cared enough about you to where her friends didn't even respect you, because my thing is, a part of a relationship, whether people want to admit it or not, a part of a healthy relationship is the people around both of y'all are respectful with interactions. You trying to tell a bitch you can't have no interactions and can't nobody come here because I'm academic. She has a cell phone, meaning that at any time anybody could know where you are at. She could share her location on her cell phone and she would never have to send nobody. You can go through the bitch phone all you want to. She could send her coordinates out one time and you would never know. She can share her location. Somebody can have her she can share her location with her phone off and somebody will be able to find out where she's at. But you're so, again, underdeveloped in this area, you don't understand. You are not like those niggas in that rap song, because see, you think that mistreating bitches, being rude to bitches and cussing bitches out, that makes you feel good because you never was one of those niggas who could cuss a bitch out, yell at a bitch, be mean to a bitch, and a bitch would still like you. You liable to get your ass slapped up and beat the fuck up, and niggas' uncles is coming back and trying to fuck you up because you raised your voice at a bitch. You never was able to be that nigga. You was never able to be somebody that could do what they want to and have their way with bitches. So the moment that a bitch that might look like something, and of course she's nobody, which good or bad, you can take that how you want to, believe that how it is. The minute that a bitch shows some type of interest in you and some type of loyalty to you, you don't know what to do. You think, oh, this the This the real thing. And I yelled at her and she still came back and she still fuck with me. Like, no, like, you was a lick the whole time. You was the lick the whole time. And this is the moment where you need to change your behavior about who you are. I don't give a fuck how you act with bitches. Because I don't date men. But, and he wouldn't interact with nobody I know anyway. But you need to change your whole demeanor and your whole attitude about how it is, because at the same time that you are a successful man and bitches would only want to be with you to secure some type of bag, because nobody's even, the girl said that you made her get an abortion and all type of stuff with the STD and all that other shit, right? That shit make you feel good. That shit make you feel like you one of those niggas that you listen to on your goddamn YouTube music. They make that, when you have chaos going on in your life, that make you feel like your favorite rapper. It make you feel like that's how life's supposed to be, and it's not. But you need to reevaluate what the fuck is going on, because the next time you might not get so lucky where motherfuckers don't complete their mission. Somebody might actually be able to complete their mission one day because you're being reckless, thinking that you can play on a bitch low self-esteem. A bitch can be playing the whole time with that low self-esteem shit because they know that you are a lick. You tender dicked for bitches that you thought you would never be able. You could never just walk up to a bitch at the Burger King and she give you her phone number. Not before you was this. Because if this was the case, you would have been doing that before. You wouldn't have had no need to come. You don't have to come out here and voice every single thing and do all of this, and your whole personality is, I'm tired of getting bullied, and I'm this is my villain origin story. You know, it don't have to be all that, but you do need to be precautious about how you're moving, because if you think you getting over, you not. Clearly, like, niggas took a 5-hour drive to your house to try to probably smack you the fuck up. And you act like you didn't want to say names and you didn't want to say who. It is what it is. We know that. Do we know how? What the clip say? I'm from Virginia. Ain't nothing here to do but like sell dope and cook, or whatever the fuck the line was from that album. You know, like, niggas ain't got nothing but time on their hands, especially when they dealing with somebody who they know is not like that. So all of it, and it's just like, you talking all this tough shit. I remember you was talking about motherfuckers would come to your house and get shot. That did not happen at all. Nobody shot back when they came to your house. This is what I'm talking about. Stop trying to imitate the people you around, because you're not them. And this goes for everybody in any situation. This isn't sensitive to this nigga. This is everybody and everything. You're not these niggas you're around. And that be the problem with us. Because we'll get ourselves in a situation and forget who the fuck we are. We'll get ourselves in a situation and forget that, oh shit, I'm a bitch ass nigga. Like, hold up. Like, if you know you're a bitch, then be a bitch. Ain't nobody mad at nobody for being no bitch. But you do too much of this, and people think that running your mouth has an expiration date. Ain't no expiration date on running your mouth. Once it's out there. And whenever it comes back to you, you don't know what form it's going to come back as. You don't know if somebody hears something that they just don't like from you, and they're like, oh yeah, because you're already public enemy number one. People blame you for all type of shit, rightfully so or unrighteously. That's neither here nor there. The point is, stop running your fucking mouth so much, because one attempt on your life is just inviting other people to make those attempts. It's not, oh, one thing happened or whatever, because there's a lot that you said to a lot of different people, and we actually don't know what happened behind the scenes with that. Because I'm more curious about why her friends felt so comfortable, and maybe it's just because you was a sweet lick. That's just being honest about it. Like, why are your friends so comfortable running down on a bitch ex? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did they feel like, and maybe it was just because it's you, and it would be easy because you wouldn't do nothing but hide and run and tell. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm back on. We're going to get back to regular uploads tomorrow. I just had to get this off because you niggas are not like your favorite rapper don't even live like that. Your favorite rapper got a fucking wife and children and ain't missed a goddamn oboe presentation. What is it? Oboe not reception. You know, your favorite rapper ain't missed a little league game and ain't missed a ballerina class. He be in the class. Man, bro, why for everybody? That's how your favorite rapper is. This is entertainment. And when you decide that you want to, I mean, we know most of it's not entertainment, but for niggas like Akademiks, this is entertainment. There's nothing real about this shit to him. He's like, you know, niggas are asked questions, since we're at the end of the video, niggas are asked questions like, oh, so they ran in your house, right? And the rapper be like, oh yeah, they came in my house. And then it's like pornography. It's like having phone sex to them when they're, so he shot at you 3 times. Oh man, did you cry? How were you feeling? Like, it's like real live calling a phone sex hotline back in the day is how these people interview people. They look at everybody else as zoo animals. You're in a cage. Your favorite gangster rapper is a zoo animal. And the media personality who interviews them, it's like where they can go and get their rocks off by asking them these crazy ass questions. And somehow, some way, people think because they get put up or they're away or nobody knows me or you're not going to try me because I'm going to tell. Nobody gives a fuck about the police. Who gives a fuck about the cops? Niggas don't give a fuck until it's time for them to go to jail. And sometimes they don't even give a fuck then. Like, this is how y'all be operating out here. And it's ridiculous. So, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. My name is Nayim Edwards.
NAYIMEDWARD $, nigga. NAYIMED.